So when you're writing programs, there are times where you need to make decision in your program, where you want to make some certain decision based on some parameters or a condition. So if else statement and elif statement is what you use to make decision while writing your code in Python. So let's say we have a program here where you just want to print out the marks of two numbers. So we have two numbers here now, and we have A now, we set A to 3, A to 6, then we set B to 4. So we want to compare these two numbers now and print out the largest number there. So all we can just do here is have our if statement right here, just by writing this keyword called if. Then now we want to put this condition right here, A greater than. So we're checking if A is greater than B. So now if A is greater than B, that means A is a largest number there, right? Because we only have two numbers here. If A is greater than B, so what we want to do is go ahead and print out A is the largest number. So this is how you work with if statement in Python. But you must have noticed now we have a white space here, right? Why do we have this white space here? This is because when you're working with if statements, loops, or functions in Python, there have to be an indentation in Python. This is called an indentation, and this is just similar to having, let's say, 4 white space in Python. So it's similar to having 4 white space in Python, and that's the convention from Pep 8. That's just some rules set for Python programming. So here now we have this white space. It must always be present. Anytime you are coming into a block, means you have this column after a code. So you usually have this type of column when you're writing a loop, a conditional statement, a function, or a class in Python. So you must have the code under this condition or under that certain loop must be under an indent, just for Python to know that, okay, this code is under this particular condition. So now whenever A is greater than B, we are printing out A is the largest number, right? So I can just go ahead and run this now, and we see we are getting the results right here. Okay, 6 is the largest number. So we can see we are getting that right here. But now let's now say we have 2 here instead, and I go ahead and just run this. Okay, just go ahead and run this again, and here we have nothing. But why do we have nothing? That's because we didn't specify a condition. If this condition, we didn't specify another condition if this condition is not met by Python. So what I'll just quickly show you here first is that you can just come down here and print out something else. I just say, okay, no output. I just say no output right here. So if I should go ahead and run this again now, you see we are getting no output and we are not getting anything from here. That's because this no output is just like another code on its own. It's not under this conditional statement here, right here. It's not under this conditional statement, and in Python you run your code from like up to down. So that's gone through this conditional statement and it's going back to no output. So what I'm meant to do here in this case, in this scenario whereby B is the one greater than A, what we are going to do is just saying that, okay, using the else statement. And the else statement is just like, okay, if this first condition is not met, you should do this. Just like if you try this and this didn't work, this did not work out, otherwise go for this. So else now what we want to do is just print out B. We're just going to go ahead and print out B, and we're going to say B is the largest number right here now. So B is the largest number. So B is the largest number. So this is how it works well. It works well like this, and this is just like, okay, us having, okay, I wrote is twice. So if I should go ahead and run this again now, you see that we are getting what you are expecting, which is 4 is the largest number and no output also. That's because it will always print this out regardless of whatever we are having. It will always print this out. So what we can do is now is let's try and add a third variable here. Now we have this, call this C and call this 5, right? So we call this C and we call this 5, and we try to see what can we do with this together. So but before I try to show you nested condition, I've been using nested if statement right here. Let's do something first. So I'll just go ahead and comment this out, and let's work with elif statement. So we are going to work with elif statement right now. And to work with elif statement is just okay. Let's say we have day, and we are setting this day to an integer. That's like either Monday, Tuesday, or like one. Okay, let's say 0 being for Sunday, 1 being for Monday. So it's going to be like this. So it should be 1 to 7, but as a programmer, let's use 0 to 6. So 0 like this, and now we want to check if day is equals to, these are the type of operators we have in Python. You can see this is just like comparison. If day is equals to 0, what do we want to do? We want to go ahead and print out, okay, we want to just go ahead and print out day of the week. Day of the week is Sunday, right? But we cannot just go and use else right here now, because we still want to check for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rest. And using else now is just going to be giving us just two comparison. So in this case, that's where we use else if, and else if we use the keyword elif in Python as else if. It's just code is coming from this else and the if together, making it elif. So elif want to have this if day now is equals to 1. If day now is equals to 1, we just go ahead and print this out. So I'll go ahead and copy this, just paste this. So and now it is Monday instead. So we're having else if again. So I'll just go ahead and copy this whole block like this. So let's paste this again. Let's paste this a couple of times. So if day is 2, then it is going to be Tuesday. And if it is 3, it's going to be Wednesday. And what if the day is 4? That we're going to have, there's going to be Thursday. And if it's 5, it's going to be Friday. So let's just have one more right here. And if the day now is 6, we know it's what? Saturday, right? So we have it like this. And if we are not getting any input from 0 to 6, we want to just print out, okay, invalid day. Let's say invalid day. So if you go ahead and run this now, see, we're getting the day of the week is Sunday. If I just change this to 4 and run this again, day of the week is Thursday. And so we can just modify this any way we want it. So let's just collect input from the user first. Okay, just say day from 0 to 6. So now we want to collect this input from the user. If I should go ahead and run this again. So and now it's prompting me for the date, right? Enter 3, it says invalid date. And why is it saying invalid date? That's because there's 3 here, but it's meant to give us day of the week is Wednesday, right? Or it's saying invalid day. And the reason we're having this is because we are comparing the data type and the value, not just the value. And right here, any input collected from Python is stored as a string. And here we are making comparison with an integer. So automatically it's going to return false for that one. So for that, we just need to typecast this and put int, like typecast it with int. So if I should go ahead and run this again. So let's just try 3 again now. We see the day of the week is what? Wednesday, right? So this is how you work with if and else if statement with else in Python. Let's go back to this. Okay, I'll just go ahead and comment this out now. So I'll just go ahead and comment this out. And now let's go back to this. Let's have something we call nested conditional statement. So we just want to we want to have an if statement inside an if statement. We want to have another if statement inside another if statement. So now let's say we're having 3. So I will uncomment this. We're having 3 numbers now. So first of all, when we check if A is greater than B, we know that if A is greater than B, that means B cannot be the largest number, right? So the largest number is now between A and C. So we can just go ahead and check if A is greater than C also before we conclude that A is the largest number. So if A is greater than C also, we cannot come to conclusion that A is the largest number. But if in a situation where A is greater than C, A is greater than B, but A is not greater than C, we know that in that situation, we have C as the largest number, right? So we just go ahead and print out C is the largest number. And if you now come here right here now, and now you can just use elif here instead of else. Just go with it, okay? Elif. So come here and now we just go with okay, else if now. So if A is not greater than B, that means B is greater than A, right? If A is not greater than B, we want to check if B itself is greater than C. So if A is not greater than B, that means B is like the largest between A and B. So we want to compare B again with C. So if B is greater than C, then we conclude that B is the largest number. But we cannot come to the conclusion that if A is not greater than B and B is not greater than C, then we have C as the largest number. So in this situation, we have C, okay, is the largest number. So we have a should have a comma here. So if I should go ahead and run this, so okay, I still need to put my comma here. So can I go ahead and run this? So right here, we're having 5 is the largest number, right? Where is the note coming from? So let me just comment this out. So is 5 the largest number? Yes, C is the largest number. But now let's make B the largest number and let's see if our code is working. 7 is the largest number, right? So let's make this 26 and check that too. 26 is the largest number. So this is how you use like nested if statements when you're working with Python. This is all called, okay, yes, nested conditional statement. So first of all, we are checking. Okay, the first thing we do was just like looking at normal if statement, just like this condition here. We are checking between two parameters now. We are checking between A and C right here now. And if A is greater than C, that means A is the largest number between A and C. Then otherwise C is the largest number. Then we talked about nested if statements. So now nested if statement is just like now. We first check between A and B. Then after checking between A and B, that we also have the last variable there which we have to confirm before we come to the conclusion that A is the largest number. So we go ahead and also check if A is greater than C, and in the situation whereby A is also greater than C, we conclude that A is the largest number. Then otherwise, C is the largest number. Then out of this loop itself now, if this condition is not met, this won't be running. Okay, if this condition is not met, we'll be just skipping here directly. This program won't be running. Yes, Python will not run this program. So now when we go back to this, let's say in a situation whereby this condition is false, we jump to this. So in a situation whereby we already know that A is not greater than B, which means B is greater than A. All we need to do is just confirm if B itself is actually greater than C. Then if it's greater than C, we can come to the conclusion that B is the largest number. Otherwise, if A is not greater than B and B is not greater than C, we can say C is zero. We can come to the conclusion that C is the largest number. And lastly, we looked at, okay, if and else if statement. So the second thing we looked at. So here is just us using else if to like put in more conditional statements instead of just having a default statement like else if our previous prompt or previous condition or comparison is returning false. So in this way now we can just check more things, and there is no limit to the numbers of conditions you can have when you are using the if, else, elif, and else statements. So that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching my tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and recommend you go and watch the tutorial on loops next. See you next time.